Okay, hi you fives and sixes. This week I thought we'd have a go at practicing our construction skills in virtual reality. So learning to work in 3 dimensions, improving our spatial skills, being creative and working on our design skills. I thought we could focus on, I've provided a step-by-step creation guide on how to create an aqueduct. Now an aqueduct is it was used hundreds of years ago, designed hundreds of years ago, as by the Romans actually. So we're talking thousands of years ago, as a way of transporting water, like a bridge to transport water from one point to another. Okay, so first of all, you'll have to log into Cospaces. .io/edu. You've done this before. Log into using your Google account. I'll put some steps on the next slide. So you'll log in here at this point. You'll need to sign in with your Google account, and once you've signed in, open up your class and use the relative code to whichever class you're in. Okay. Now, coming back to the task today, the challenge is, it's pretty open-ended, but I'd like you to follow the creation guide to create either an aqueduct, or you can use some images that I've put further down in this slide for inspiration. So you can create your own dream home, you can research a world-famous landmark like the Eiffel Tower or something to recreate in 3 dimensions. Be sure to screen grab your work and share it on Seesaw as well. If you really want to extend yourself, you could develop your creation further by adding other elements around your constructions, or even animate them to turn their scene into real life. So you could add trees, grasslands, whatever you like around that. Okay, so let's go into a bit of an idea through the creation guide. The first step of you building an aqueduct, and I'll take you through this in Cospaces in just a moment, is to get something like this sort of shape here. You can put texture to it by double clicking and changing the materials. Okay, duplicate it. So we call this a frustum, 4-sided building block. And then this is the tricky part, and I'm going to take you through this, is to actually get a cylinder or a tube, not the cylinder, but a tube, and then cut it in half and flatten it down to make the archway. I'll show you how to do that. The rest, I think you're going to be pretty confident with. So let me show you how to create this tube. I'll just go up here to Cospaces. I'll open up a new Cospace. My empty scene. I'm in a 3D environment. Empty scene. Okay, now just down the bottom here, you'll have your library. I'm going to go to my building and I'm going to mention just 3-dimensional shapes. I'm going to come along here to this 4-sided. You can see it's 4-sided on the top there, the top face. And I'll drag it up. And I'm going to make this pretty large. And while I'm here, I'm also going to make it wider, not like that. I want to stretch out the bottom a bit. I might just make it a little bit wider in that direction, and might just drag out the base a touch, make it a little bit wider at the top. Okay, now I'm getting carried away with this arch, but I'll just double click on that and use my materials, textures. I like this one. I'm just going to use that, and I might change my color of that. Don't need to, but I will, just for the sake of it. Okay, there it is. There's my arch. I'm going to, not my arch, I'm going to duplicate that, and I'm going to use my lines on the bottom there to make sure that I've got these lined up. So you can see this line on the graph, almost the graph paper down the bottom. I'm just going to bring that over here. And let's do the arch. Scroll along here until I find my cylinder. Where's my cylinder gone? Here it is. Drag that up. Now once you've got, I'll just close this library. Once you get your cylinder, I'm just going to make this a bit bigger for me to work in. Okay, you'll see this little radius line here, and I can use that to cut this in half. I can decrease my height and just playing around with my inner radius there, I can change that, and I think you'll start to see what I'm doing here. This is what I'm creating. I can bring this down, and I want this height to be similar to the width of this. Now once I've done that, then I can start to move this around. That increases. That's not what I want. Just going to press the undo button there. This is the one I want. And I want to rotate this. Try and get that what I think is level. And then, oops, undo, put that back to where I want it. Select the right shape. Now I'm using a trackpad here, I'm not using a mouse, so it's a little bit tricky. I'm not going to let myself get into my yellow zone. A bit hard to see that colour, so I might just change the colour similar to and texture that I was using before. I'll just move my head over here. Okay, oh, wrong colour. Now we're matching. Okay, beauty. Now I can start to build my archway, my aqueduct. I can see that this isn't quite lined up. Let's move that over. Bring this over. Move around here. Not quite right. Okay, starting to build my arch. Really looking forward to seeing what you can build. You can group all of these, then you can duplicate them. So if I was to press Control A, Shift, I'm holding Shift down and selecting all of these. I could then group it, duplicate it, I can get all that lined up. Pretty happy with the alignment. I know I've got a few rough parts here. I can fill those in later. But once I've done that, I can hold the Shift button down, select both objects, right click, duplicate. And I'm starting to build up my aqueduct pretty quickly.